If they'd hoped the statement on Friday would draw a line under the Prince Andrew and Epstein scandal, this book by his accuser, appearing in the shops early, has ruined that. As the King stepped out in Manchester for the most important of visits, the claims against his brother were still stealing the headlines. A palace source telling me that the new allegations that have emerged were being viewed with very serious and grave concerns, with the royal family believing they should be examined in the proper and fullest ways. Allegations that Prince Andrew continues to vehemently deny. It comes after reports over the weekend that claim that Prince Andrew asked a royal protection officer to dig up dirt on Virginia Giuffre in 2011, the woman who accused the prince of sexual abuse. The Metropolitan Police said they are actively looking into the claims. And while it is morally wrong, Andrew would also potentially have been asking his police officer to put his career on the line by unlawfully trying to access information. With questions about the use of his titles. Yes, his statement said he's not going to use them in public, but it doesn't mean he's been completely stripped of them, and there's cause for that to happen. It would take an act of Parliament to remove his Duke of York title and other peerages, but it is possible the King could take away his honours, such as Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order or his membership of the Order of the Garter.
We're joined now by Andrew Lownie, the biographer who wrote the book on Prince Andrew and his fall from grace, the fall of the House of York. You see, you heard me saying those words again there, Andrew, that all media operatives have to say when we do these stories. Prince Andrew repeatedly denies the allegations. He continues to deny ever meeting Virginia Giuffre. But now we see these emails published yesterday, reportedly exchanged between him and Epstein in 2011, where effectively they are conspiring between them to smear her. Andrew talks about her date of birth. He refers to her social security number. He questions whether she has a criminal record. He makes a reference to that photograph, the one that he now says he thinks is a fake. And yet 8 years later, he's solemnly assuring Emily Maitlis, Newsnight and us that he's never heard of her, never even met her. How could he possibly forget somebody that he'd had an exchange of emails about of that nature 8 years earlier?
Well, he clearly hasn't. I mean, I think that during the course of my 4 years' research, I found you couldn't take a single thing Prince Andrew said without checking it. I mean, I do put in the book, in fact, that, I mean, he was conspiring and bringing in a PR firm, conspiring with Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein immediately afterwards to try and discredit her and investigating her. So, I mean, I've known that these denials weren't true. It's the same with Sarah Ferguson. She was actually staying with Epstein for years after she publicly cut off links. So I'm afraid these two, the links with Epstein began earlier, lasted longer and much deeper than people have realised. And this story is finally coming out. I think these emails are only the beginning, I think, of a tsunami of material that will emerge, and this is clearly what the palace are worried about.
What you seem to be saying, and many are saying this morning, is this, that Prince Andrew is potentially a material witness to serious sexual wrongdoing. He's never denied being very close friends with Ghislaine Maxwell, who is now serving a very long prison sentence for effectively procuring underage girls for her boss and her lover, Epstein. One of the allegations that's going to be published in the book tomorrow is that on the third occasion that Giuffre says that Andrew assaulted her sexually, it was as part of an orgy involving at least 8 other young girls. Now, if that's true, then Andrew's a material witness to that. Do you think he could be... He's not going to be persuaded, clearly, based on his decency and good character, his sense of honour, which he talks about. But do you think he could be... leverage could be applied to get him to give evidence?
Yes, absolutely, and I think Sarah Ferguson is also a material witness. I mean, she actually had more numbers in the Little Black Book than Epstein and regularly stayed at the various homes. So, I mean, she should be volunteering, and I think the police protection officers should also be prepared to give statements. I mean, they're the ones who could either defend him or in a sense, put the nail in his coffin. And I think, you know, there's been a suppression of what they would want to say. They were told that if they, in a sense, complained, they would just basically be back on the beaten bricks Brixton. So this is not just a problem with Andrew, it's a wider problem of the palace. You know, you were discussing earlier how the Queen would just give a new honour every time that that Andrew's in the news for something to do with Epstein. She was colluding with him in terms of some of the work he was doing with the presidents of Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan. This is a much bigger problem, and I think the palace need to get ahead of it because they're way behind public opinion on this.
In an exclusive interview with the Sunday Express, royal author Nigel Cawthorne revealed that he believes Prince Andrew will be forced to flee Britain following his latest spy scandal. It has been reported that Andrew, 64, is eyeing the Middle East as a bolt hole to start a new life after his eldest daughter Princess Beatrice, 36, paved the way for him during a visit to Abu Dhabi last month.
Royal residents debate Prince Andrew's future at Royal Lodge. Amidst the recent headlines surrounding Prince Andrew's departure from royal duties, a burning question remains. Why does he still reside at Royal Lodge, a grand 30-room mansion in Windsor? The Royal Lodge conundrum. Prince Andrew, along with his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson and their two daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, moved into Royal Lodge back in 2004. Under a unique agreement with the Crown Estate, Andrew secured a lease until 2078 with the condition that he maintains the property. A costly lease. The lease came at a price, an initial payment of £1 million in 2003, followed by a substantial £7 million for renovations. Interestingly, it was recently revealed that Prince Andrew hasn't paid rent since moving in. The only way out. Royal biographer Andrew Lownie, in a special podcast episode, believes that Prince Andrew's departure from Royal Lodge is entirely voluntary. He has this ironclad lease as long as he upholds its terms. The only way I see him leaving is by his own choice. The optics of a non-working royal in such a grand mansion are not favourable. He is an honourable man, and I trust he will make the right decision for the monarchy. Lownie suggests that the only pressure point might be the treatment of Andrew's daughters, and as their future is threatened, he might consider leaving. The prison scenario. Another potential outcome, according to Lownie, is if Prince Andrew faces legal troubles and ends up in prison. If he is investigated and imprisoned, that solves the Royal Lodge issue. However, I believe he is being encouraged to retreat to his palace in Abu Dhabi or even consider Swiss nationality. In the podcast, Lownie also delves into what Prince Andrew's life in exile might look like, and offers his insights on the recent statement released by the prince. A controversial interpretation.